What's up, YouTubers? Jose Quiñones, the CNC dude, with my bag of Greeblies here. Oh, I'm super excited. I just got this on the mail. We're going to open it up. But I do realize a good bunch of you are saying, a bag of what? Exactly, right? I mean, Greeblies. What is that? There are two types of humans on this planet. Those who know what they are and those who are about to find out. So what are Greeblies? I'm not gonna bore you with too many details. Basically, in the 1970s, a good group of people decided to teleport us into a galaxy far, far away, and they gave us an amazing universe. But to do that, they had to trick our minds into believing that we were seeing real things. And what they did was that they used pieces from kits like this. And they are made of plastic, but they would use these components to create their spaceships, the Death Star, and all the stuff. And that's where the term Greeblie came up. Nobody knows exactly who came up with it. It's one of those words that people are just like, using it, and then it just becomes a thing. But basically, it is just any piece of junk that you can use to make something amazing look real. And there is a huge community that they just love this sort of thing. And so today this video has two purposes. Not only I'm going to unveil what I received, but I'm also going to unveil a new reality. For years, I have been wanting to be a member of this club called the SW Room Builders. SW doesn't stand for software. It stands for what do you say? Solar conflict, or stellar conflict maybe. Anyway, these guys, they make so cool rooms, and I have always wanted to be a part of that. So today I am officially, I don't know if you can realize, but I am in my enclosure, which will become my SW room build. Not entirely sure what will be the theme yet, but probably some kind of a Rebel Alliance workshop, some kind of a spatial out of this world workshop. That's the goal here. Right now I'm calling it the CNC room because there's going to be a bunch of CNC machines in here, but the premise is this is going to be my SW room, and I'm super excited. So I got my Greeblies as part of, what is it called? The Seasons Greeblies, Holiday Greeblie Exchange. So basically, I think it's like 20 members of the room or the Facebook group. They sign up, and we get to trade Greeblies. So what did I get? Let's open this up and take a look. Actually, before I open this up, let me tell you what I think might be here. So let me talk a little bit about what's usually Greeblies today, because I've been saying that in the 70s they were using parts from kits like this, but look, this was $20 in Hobby Lobby. Maybe there was a discount. $32.99, so freaking expensive. I mean, if you are making a multi-million-dollar movie, of course you have money to spend on that. But this would have been so cheap in the 70s. Today they're freaking expensive, hard to find. So what do people use today for Greeblies? Believe it or not, and like I say, most of it is junk that gets repurposed as something that looks amazing. So shapes like these are pretty ubiquitous. These are used lids, used box lids, or used container lids, and once they get painted, they look amazing. Lots of stuff from hard disk drives, pretty much whatever you can find on your local hardware store, Home Depot, Ace Hardware, wherever you go. Just have a vision, repurpose it, machine it a little bit, and make it look amazing. And that's where these things originate. So I got this from, believe it or not, from Richardson, Texas. So just down the street from me. So basically, I used to work in Richardson, so that's like 30 minutes from here. And this is not really heavy. I'm not expecting a whole lot of metal. Maybe 3D printer or 3D printed parts. Maybe some used lids like this. Let's open it up and find out. All right, so I got my Gigantor scissor from Harbor Freight. I gotta tell you, Harbor Freight tools have been getting better, but these scissors, I love these scissors. I mean, the idea that you can chop off your entire arm with a single stroke, that's just fantastic to me. So So let's see what we have in here. And of course, I'm gonna try not to rip a finger. All right, the moment of truth. Wow, that's a way much. Wow, that's a lot of cool stuff in here. Let's see, I'm gonna have to take a picture of all of this. This is really, really cool. Aha, this looks like a, I don't know if this is a CD-ROM spindle motor, but probably something like that. There you go. Juice box lid, 2 of these. This looks like one of those tool kits. You know, some of these tools are probably still useful. I have no idea what these are. If you know what they are, put it in the comments. But you know, the premise is that all of these things, by the way, if you don't know what they are, even better, because that means that you can use it on your prop, and that's going to mesmerize people. This is a camera. This is a simple one. Man, it just looks so cool. And some of these things, you don't even need to go through hoops differentiating, because they're just gonna look amazing. I like this neck. This is gonna be, man, I just like playing with this. This could be a fidget spinner, like if it's a Monday and your boss is making you want to jump from a cliff, this could definitely help you survive the week. These are use once and destroy, sterile, probably some injection container. Heat sinks, these are, I told you, heat sinks is one of these other things that people use a lot. They already look like they come from another planet, and which is fascinating to me, because if you think about it, you probably have hundreds of these around your house, but nobody ever sees them because they are inside of something. So they can, you don't even have to go through hoops to make it look like it comes from a different galaxy. This is for electrical work, but again, the shape is so cool that you can make it look like something else. This is a lid of something, but I tell you, the shape is just mesmerizing. And you know, some of these things are already being designed by folks to make it look cool. So in a way, we're kind of cheating. These are wire routing. Again, a lot of the stuff that you see out there has to do with making it look like you have wires going back and forth. So this is also an electrical. Oh, this, I think this lid goes here. So this would have been a lamp. There we go. Yeah, this is a lamp, one of those LED lamps. But this stuff, you don't even need to go through hoops to make this look like it comes from another galaxy. Some metal piece with holes, have no idea what it is, but again, cool. And a switch. You need switches. I mean, obviously, you truly need, here we go, a switch with an LED. Yeah, lots of the things that people do are panels. This little bezel here is gonna look amazing, I can tell you that. Oh, and this is another, what is this? Ingestion hazard. Yeah, because when I see this, the first thing that I want to do is bite into it. The last part, ooh, this is something hilarious to me. And you will have seen this in the movies. I'm thinking these were laser cut. This looks laser cut. But, and these are gonna be amazing for panels. I have no idea if it was laser cut, or it almost looks laser cut, because I cannot imagine anything having this. It looks too freaking cool. But what I wanted to say, these grooves in here, these channels, these pockets, I mean seriously, where on earth can you imagine that this is from a different galaxy? And yet, they look amazing. Everything in Star Wars has to do with pockets, cutouts that are nothing out of this world, and yet to us they look like they come from a different galaxy, and that's just the magic, right? These artists, they took shapes that we are learning from since we go into elementary school, but they put them in an order. It's so artistic, it's so beautiful. This is probably what is going to be considered art 500 years from now. You know, back in the days of the Greeks and the Romans, they were doing sculptures. We're doing spaceships. It's just mind-boggling to me how all of this works, but it's fascinating as well. So I'm really happy with the content. I tell you, some of these things you're not even going to have to go through hoops to make them look like they come from a different universe. So thank you very much to my sender. I am really happy with this content. It's gonna be amazing. Now, before I go, I want to show you what I sent to my receiver on this Greeblie exchange. The fellow who received them was really happy with the content, and he was wondering where I got the part from. So I want to go through some of them and basically tell you where some of these things can be found, although in reality, some of them are really hard to find. All right, so I have managed to reconvene some of the parts that I sent to my Secret Santa recipient for the Greeblies exchange. I don't have all of the parts, but I'm going to explain where the ones that I do have come from, and actually I'm going to tell you where most of them probably come from, even the ones that I don't have, because some of these, you know, just to give you a background, I've been piling up on junk for the last 30 years. I love going to surplus auctions. It's a disease, okay? You know this is a disease. Love to go to surplus auctions. Every now and then somebody's dumping a bunch of industrial junk, and that's where a good bunch of these goodies come from. Some others come from people dumping whatever is left of their business when they close. Like you'll see that some of these parts come from what appears to be car wash. Then there are other parts that come from surplus stores. Now, surplus stores are the dinosaurs. They're extinct. Good luck finding a surplus stores. We had a bunch here in the DFW. Some of these actually came from there. The old Tanner's Electronics. Man, I miss that place. That was so sad when that place went out of business. But you know, it is what it is, right? Everything changes. So now we're at the mercy of if a company goes out of business, and then we can loot them up, which is kind of depressing and cruel that we're almost hoping that somebody goes out of business so that we can get their junk, because there is no other way. You cannot go to a place and get their junk. Like 10, 15, 20 years ago, there would have been so many places where you could pick this stuff up. Now, good, I cannot find them anywhere. Anyway, some of these parts that I wanted to share with you, my receiver was wondering where they come from, so here it is. Let me start with these two here. Put them here in the camera. So these two came from that car wash closing, and I have no idea what they are, but you know, they look cool, and I bet something like this you can put on a lathe and give some kind of cool looking aspect. I don't know. This is a pipe, the thread pipe. I have probably 100 of these. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, but you know, these were being dumped, and I figure probably I'm going to use some of these. Now, here is one that you don't see on the picture, but what you see is this little wheel. So this came from Tanner Electronics. I remember buying, like, I don't know, I probably have 20 or 30 of these. So what I did was that I cut the spindle here and just removed the wheels. The wheels have this cool looking, I don't know if you can see that they have this cool quad look. So I figure you can probably do some cool looking stuff with this. Of course, you may need to machine it a little bit, but that was the premise behind that. This comes from a previous life. I used to work for a company that handled documents, if you know what I mean. That was over 20 years ago. That company practically doesn't exist, but this would have been roller bearings, more like bushings, This is an actual bearing for rollers, like the rollers that handle the paper and push it through the different subsystems. And let me tell you something about that company. So I was an embedded system designer working with the electronics, the motor drives for these machines. These machines would have over 100 motors, so amazing piece of equipment. But something that most people don't realize is that in order to make a machine, you have to probably make like 100 of them before you get to the one that you can sell. So here we have a machine that is basically the size of this room, and they have to prototype it dozens of times before you have something that works. Well, what do you think happened to all of the prototypes? They were literally being dumped on these huge containers, and they were placed on the hallways. Every mechanical engineer, once they were done with it, they will just dump their pieces, and we were allowed to like grab stuff from there because this was trash. They were just going to literally sell it on an auction for like, I don't know. I think it was more expensive to actually haul it out than to let people grab stuff from there. The amount of junk that I got from there was amazing, and that's where these guys come from. And I still have so many of these, but to me this looks like a robot eye, right? This is, I don't know why I see a robot eye whenever. So maybe I'll do a robot eye one day and go with that. But yeah, I miss going through those bins filled with goodies. Although that was probably what got me addicted to this. So that was like a drug. You will also see in the picture some of these connectors. I got this from some other auction or some Don Peru endeavor. I have probably dozens of these, and these are just conventional wire or cable harness routing. So you put this on your panel, and then like a big cable come out of this, and that's how you can route cables in and out. So there is nothing out of this world with these guys, but to the untrained eye, they look pretty cool, I would say. Now there is a plate, an aluminum plate that came from this motor assembly. So it's basically the plate that was in between this frame here, and the motor would have been mounted to that. I do not have another plate like that. That plate looked cool to me, so I sort of sending it to the sender. I was also gonna send this disc, but the box was not big enough, and I think I had already sent enough stuff that I just decided to keep this one. So I mean, this looks cool like hell, and I bet you could make something with like a panel in here and some lights. I tell you, this could be a really cool prop with some time invested into it. But there would have been, of course, this was where the motor was mounted. And I thought I had more of these motors, and I cannot find them anywhere. These are not easy to lose. So even if with all of the junk that I have been amassing throughout the years, I would have known where these guys are. So I don't think these were misplaced at all. I think I lost them. I think I probably took them to one of my previous jobs, because we were, I don't know if you know, but every now and then I work with motors. So I probably took them to my old job to do something. I just left them there because I wasn't going to do anything with them. So this is probably going to go into the trash anyway at some point in time. The other parts, there are three parts, I think. I'm not looking at the picture right now, but there are three parts that I really don't know where they came from. I think one of them was for like some kind of air handler. Probably came from one of those big machines. There were, for whatever reason, there was airflow. I don't remember exactly why. And I think that's what does that part. And the other part, that one, I have no idea where it came from. But that one is really cool. I mean, that probably is a chunk of a lightsaber right there. So I only had that one, and I thought, well, I haven't done anything with it. Let me send something cool to my Greeblie receiver, and I hope he enjoys it and he can make something with it. But it had like really cool connectors on one side and cavities, and I tell you, it's probably a chunk of a lightsaber right there. So that's what I sent my sender. Like I said, this is a program that happens every year for the members of this awesome community, which I truly hope I can now be a part of. This room is my first step into that foray. Eventually, all of these walls are going to be covered. First I have to insulate, then I have to do drywall, and eventually I'm going to plaster them all over the place with trinkets that look like they come from a different galaxy, from far away and a long time ago. Alright, YouTubers, this is my first video of 2026. I realize I have been incredibly delinquent in posting videos, but it's precisely because I have been building this. And I may shoot a few videos on some of the things that I did here. Obviously, a lot of videos will be recorded with regards to how this is going to be ornamented. So there's plenty of that to come from. This has kept me occupied for all of 2025, which is now a done deal. All right, YouTubers, I want to thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel, and I'm going to see you on the next one.